أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. There's no God but you. Glory be unto you. Indeed, I was among the wrongdoers. Ameen. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Happy Sunday. Inshallah everybody's doing good. We will continue on with the race on page 206. Pretty much an addendum to the necessity of resurrection. So we left off in the middle of page 206. So we need to pick up from the paragraph moreover. Moreover, by their definite acceptance of the truth of resurrection, which the Quran, prevailing over the future and all times, repeatedly proves in detail and elucidates all the revealed scriptures and sacred books, each of which dominated a particular period, proved it according to their own times and centuries, but in undetailed, veiled, and summary manner, confirming with 1,000 signatures what the Quran teaches. Moreover, by their definite acceptance of the truth of resurrection, which the Quran, prevailing over the future and all times, repeatedly proves in detail and elucidates all the revealed scriptures and sacred books, each of which dominated a particular period, proved it according to their own times and centuries, but in undetailed, veiled, and summary manner, confirming with 1,000 signatures what the Quran teaches. Included here, since it is related to this discussion, is the testimony at the end of the third ray of the other pillars of faith, and particularly the prophets and holy scriptures, to believe in the last day. Included here, since it is related to this discussion, is the testimony at the end of the third ray of the other pillars of faith, and particularly the prophets and holy scriptures. So to believe in the last day. It forms a convincing proof of resurrection and is in the form of a powerful yet succinct supplication which dispels all doubts. It says in the supplication, it forms a convincing proof of resurrection and is in the form of a powerful yet succinct supplication which dispels all doubts. It says in the supplication, "O my compassionate sustainer, I have understood from the instruction of your noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the teaching of the Quran, that foremost the Quran and the Messenger and all the sacred scriptures and prophets have unanimously testified and pointed out that the manifestations of the names related to your beauty and glory, examples of which are to be seen in this world, will continue even more radiantly for all eternity, and that your bounties, samples of which are to be observed in this transitory world, will persist in the abode of bliss in still more glittering fashion, and that those who long for them in this world will accompany them for all eternity. O my compassionate sustainer, I have understood from the instruction of your noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the teaching of the Quran, that foremost the Quran and the messenger and all the sacred scriptures and prophets have unanimously testified and pointed out that the manifestations of the names related to your beauty and glory, examples of which are to be seen in this world, will continue even more radiantly for all eternity, and that your bounties, samples of which are to be observed in this transitory world, will persist in the abode of bliss in still more glittering fashion, and that those who long for them in this world will accompany them for all eternity. Also, relying on hundreds of evident miracles and decisive signs, foremost your noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the all-wise Quran and the prophets with their luminous spirits, and the saints who are spiritual poles with their light-filled hearts, and the purified scholars with their enlightened intellects, relying on your repeated threats and promises in all the sacred scriptures, and trusting in your sacred attributes such as power, mercy, favor, wisdom, glory, and beauty, and on your qualities and the dignity of your glory and the sovereignty of your dominicality, and in consequence of their illuminations and visions and beliefs at the degree of the knowledge of certainty, give the glad tidings to man and jinn of eternal happiness, and inform them of hell for the people of misguidance. They firmly believe in this and testify to it. So let me go back a little bit here. So, also relying on hundreds of evident miracles and decisive signs. Foremost, your most noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the all-wise Quran and the prophets with their luminous spirit, and the saints who are spiritual pools with their light-filled hearts, and the purified scholars with their enlightened intellects, relying on your repeated threats and promises in all the sacred scriptures, and trusting in your sacred attributes such as power, mercy, favor, wisdom, glory, and beauty, and on your qualities and the dignity of your glory and the sovereignty of your dominicality, and in consequence of their illuminations and visions and beliefs at the degree of the knowledge of certainty, give the glad tidings to man and jinn of eternal happiness, and inform them of hell for the people of misguidance. They firmly believe this and testify to it. So I think evidences that we see around us about the necessity of resurrection is pinpointed here. And there's a lot of ways that one can confirm the necessity of resurrection, starting from themselves and then going to the universe and whatever is available in the universe. So speech of the creator of the universe is available. And all the scriptures that are divinely inspired do mention the necessity of resurrection. However, it's most of them don't mention that in detail and clarity. But if one was to study the Quran seriously, then one should be able to see how the content in there does provide clear and detailed proof of the human condition here, where we are in need of eternal happiness. And so the traveler, like you and I here, is really seeking out to the creator of the universe and his sustainer that, oh, compassionate Lord, what we observe here is totally in sync with what my human expectations desire. So here we observe the transience, temporariness of the world. And so we are in need of something that's not transitory, but something that is everlasting. And so all the glitters and flavors that we have experienced here, or we do experience here, must be fulfilled in an eternal form. And furthermore, there are, I don't know, I'll just pause here before jumping into the miracles as signs. Would anybody want to make a comment? Okay.
Do you know from history, whatever we hear, as far as we can, all the people who claim to be the messenger of God, all of them, unanimously talk about the same point.
About resurrection.
Sorry?
About resurrection.
About the creator of the universe, about the prophethood, that God appoints prophet, God sends message, and hereafter there will be, as it is explained here, actually, the manifestations of the names that we are observing in this universe will continue even more radiantly and eternally in the next creation. But they are completely separated from each other in history, in geography, but especially in the time, there was no way to communicate between them. So every scripture gives reference to the previous messengers. That is interesting because they don't know. For example, now, as far as we have the access to Torah narrations, Hebrew Bible, and the New Testament, because the communication and printing methods, it's a matter of just 100 years ago. Before, there was no such luxury, if you like,
Of books.
that the people will know, especially the people will be in nowhere in the middle of desert. How would they know each other, and how would they be aware of the same principles, same methods, and same evidence about the same purpose or same teaching? All people who claim to be the prophets never contradicted each other. That is one line, confirming each other. On the other hand, all the people, they did not accept the prophets, the message. They claimed their own understanding of creation, always contradicted each other, and never really agreed on one point. Everybody comes with another theory, philosophical theories, personal views, explaining what the reality of the universe is or what the reality of existence is. The history narrates all this as far as we can see. They are available for our access. They contradict each other in various ways in their interpretations. On the other hand, and the prophets, those people who claim to be the prophets, all of them confirm each other, and not only confirm, give the same news without knowing each other. Of course, somebody says Jesus knew Torah. Yeah, he was one of the children of Israel. That is correct. But even he wanted to correct the discrepancy between the main teachings of the prophetic message, and put it right. And in the case of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he didn't know enough of them. He gave the same news, but saying that I am the messenger of God, as the previous prophets said. That is very interesting. And they all give news about the resurrection and the creation after this world, another creation, and continuation even in the best way or better way than it has been experienced here. The qualities of the Creator, the names of God, manifestations of his names in this world and in an eternal form. That is quite interesting. Of course, we are studying an addendum to an extension to the 10th word, where resurrection, the necessity of resurrection is heavily supported by the evidence we observe in the universe. Now, it is an extra, in addition to all the previous evidence, that all the prophets historically united on the understanding that the resurrection will take place. That's an extension of it, not the only evidence. It's very late, very last evidence after 50 pages of explanation, bringing evidence from the universe.
What's the point when he says that in the paragraph, proved it according to their own times and centuries in undetailed, veiled and summary form?
They gave the evidence according to the capacity of the people they were appointed, but the main point was the same. There will be a resurrection, but evidence are different. what different means according to the level of understanding, the experience of the people, experience of the people, and also the way they reason. Of course, it needs training. So when you speak to a person who has not been educated, you give different examples, different way of explaining, but explaining the same thing, giving the example for the same point. But what you do now, you speak according to the capacity of the people you are speaking. So the prophets did the same thing. Although their evidence may differ according to their level of understanding, but the main teaching remained the same. I think it is understood.
Thank you. So, all right, let's touch upon the next point here about relying on hundreds of evident miracles and decisive signs. Foremost, your most noble messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and the all-wise Quran, and the prophets with their luminous spirits, and the saints who are spiritual poles with their light-filled hearts, and the purified scholars with their enlightened intellects, relying on your repeated threats and promises in all the sacred scriptures, and trusting in your sacred attributes such as power, mercy, favor, wisdom, glory, and beauty, and on your qualities and the dignity of your glory and the sovereignty of your dominicality, and in consequence of their illuminations and visions and beliefs at the degree of the knowledge of certainty. Give the glad tidings to man and jinn of eternal happiness, and inform them of hell for the people of misguidance. They firmly believe this and testify to it. So furthermore, anyone who's following the prophetic teachings and using it and relying on hundreds of evident miracles and decisive signs, using it as a miracle. Miracle as in like really pondering over the qualities manifested here. So anyone who's following the prophetic teachings and hearing their expressions and sharing of their evidences also helps one to conclude and be certain that there must be an abode of eternal happiness in a form which is not available here. Yeah, any additions on this?
So we spoke about the miracles, I think, in the last time, like how that can be seen also to what the prophets are saying. Take them seriously about what the message they are conveying. And we gave the example of a student or who goes to school and what was it, that degree, PhD degree or something, or doctorate degree. And you're listening to the advice of that individual because the miracles stand for kind of like a degree or something of a sort, as an analogy. If I'm getting the analogy right. But whatever this the messenger or the prophet is propagating is something for me to take seriously. And of course, the qualities are all mentioned, are universal qualities, no matter at what age. Mercy, favor, power, wisdom, glory are always visible or observable and concludable by individuals. And I'm sure all these prophets, as well as the saints, and even all the scriptures and the Quran, they all point to, as it said, like, if we study the Quran, we will see that 1/3 of the Quran is actually mentioning the hereafter or resurrection, to the seriousness of what this life is for. Get ready for the hereafter. There is such a thing. Like, that's what I would add.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for the addition. Yeah, I remember that analogy. So one would take the message seriously based on also the qualification of a person. So if you're not taking the message seriously, you're not taking the person either seriously. So they go hand in hand. The miracle, which is like the degree in the analogy, and what message are you presenting? Yeah, alhamdulillah, that's very helpful. Thank you. Any comments from anybody? Okay, then we can proceed with this next piece. So everyone firmly believed this and testified to it. O all-powerful and wise one, O all-powerful and wise one, O most merciful and compassionate, O munificent one, true to his promise. O munificent one, true to his promise. O all-compelling one of glory, one of dignity, grandeur, and wrath. You are utterly exempt from and exalted above giving the lie to so many loyal friends. You are utterly exempt from and exalted above giving the lie to so many loyal friends and so many promises and attributes and qualities, and denying the certain demands of the sovereignty of your dominicality and the endless prayers and supplications of your innumerable acceptable servants, whom you love and who attract your love, whom you love and who attract your love by assenting to you and obeying you. And you are exempt from confirming the denial of resurrection by the people of misguidance. And you are exempt from confirming the denial of resurrection by the people of misguidance and unbelief, who through their disbelief and rebellion and denial of your promises offend the magnificence of your grandeur and affront your dignity and glory and the honor of your Godhead, and sadden the compassion of your dominicality. We declare your justice, beauty, and mercy to be exempt from such infinite tyranny, such ugliness. We believe with all our strength that the testimony of the prophets, purified scholars, and saints, who are those truthful envoys of yours, those heralds of your sovereignty, those heralds of your sovereignty at the degrees of absolute certainty, knowledge of certainty, and the vision of certainty. That the degrees of absolute certainty, knowledge of certainty, the vision of certainty, to the treasuries of your mercy in the hereafter, and the stores of your bounties in the everlasting realm, and to the wondrously beautiful manifestations of your beautiful names, which will be manifested totally in the abode of bliss. Which will be manifested totally in the abode of bliss, are absolutely true and veracious. And what they have indicated conforms absolutely with reality, and that what they have given glad tidings of is true and will occur. Believing that the supreme ray of your name of truth, which is the source, sun, and protector of all realities, is this truth of the resurrection and great gathering. They teach it to your servants.
What do you understand from
the name of truth?
Truth? What do you understand from the name of truth?
No idea. Let me think a little bit. Of your believing that the supreme ray of your name of truth, as in what my human feelings desire and what this universe points to, or what everything in this universe is a messenger pointing to the need for resurrection. And so the name of truth means what I experience, as far as my human expectations are concerned. And so if there's a need for an eternal happiness abode, and the messengers are bringing news about it, so that promise must be fulfilled.
I think, of course, our specific subject is resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the name of truth, as far as the resurrection is concerned, has a specific meaning. But name of truth manifests itself everywhere, in every subject. The Quran is full of verses. Actually, there are many verses referring to this by stating that God created the universe and everything with truth, bil-haq, with the Quran, bil-haq. Everything has its own truth in it, which refers to reality of the qualities of it is their maker. Everything. Reality of it is maker, every single day. What does it mean? Whatever we see in the creation, of course, in the from the meaning perspective, what do they represent? Which kind of message they transfer to us? Always gives us the news that their creator is really true, truly existing one who has this quality. And this quality is from him, manifested from his qualities. He created them. They all witness the reality or the truthfulness of their creator. That is why we cannot find in the universe in anything which refers their existence in general or the existence of any of their qualities to anything else. Then it is absolute creator. It means whatever the quality you find in anything, all the science books are telling about what they saw, what they witnessed in the universe. They may interpret it in another way. That is their interpretation. Everybody is free to interpret it. But when we think about it, if they think about it, they will understand that they are, each being is declaring, announcing, actually telling human beings that they or their qualities are nothing but the qualities of an absolute being. That is the truth, that is the reality in the Quranic language, that is the haqq, manifesting in everything. Bil-haqq. The Quran uses this word, everything is created with truth. But truth for what? That is what we have to understand and ask. This particular subject of resurrection, here we see the last verse that we read today, last sentence we read today, believing that the supreme ray of your name of truth, which is the source, son and protector of all realities. Because none of the creature, none of their qualities refer to anything else but their absolute creator. And you cannot even attribute that. I've seen some qualities in this manifesting in a matter, any matter, anything. But it doesn't refer to the source, to its source, to be not absolute. No one can say this. The whole universe altogether witnesses all this. And also the same quality is the source of the truth of resurrection and the great gathering. They teach it to your servants, to your human beings, conscious human beings. So they teach, every single being teaches that the truth of their creator and of course his qualities, his asma, his sifat, whatever you call it, but all his qualities. These qualities, since these qualities are absolute, and we expect them to demonstrate in the creation itself that we human beings will experience their infinite manifestation. We understand that the creator of each being in this world must be from an absolute being. And since his qualities, the qualities of this absolute being is infinite, I personally am given the ability or capacity to require, to be in need of observing, experiencing the infinite manifestation of these absolute qualities, limitless. Because I understand that if the creator is absolute in his qualities, and his qualities are absolute as well, I say why should I only see a limited manifestation here in time-wise? Look, we should not confuse two things. One is, yes, they refer that their creator's qualities must be infinite. But my observation of the practical act of creation
It's not,
is not infinite.
yeah.
That's a contradiction.
Mhm.
And I have been giving this sense, the desire, to experience the infinite manifestation of it. For example, if you like something in this world, would you like to experience it continuously?
Mhm.
If you enjoy something,
Yeah,
would you like?
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose it.
Mhm.
Now, as the person who has lost this, no, not lose really, I'm not experiencing my youth anymore, and I'm yearning for it. If only I was able to run, to enjoy, to entertain my life as I used to when I was young. No, I can't. I don't know, can you? So, no, I can't. But for example, somebody's head is getting white, and he says, how can I make it look black? As I was young. Don't you?
Mhm.
Why do you think people go and have surgery or these aesthetic surgeries?
Mhm.
Why do they have it? They don't want to lose their youth. But we do. It contradicts the reality of the name of truth. The name of truth says, I am absolute, I am infinite, and I can manifest
Infinite,
again
yeah.
in my action your youth that you desire. Because we have to understand this. We should never forget it. The desire for the best is given to us by our Creator. Then He's not giving it. We say, there's something strange going on in this world. Yeah. He wanted me to decide it. Well, for example, can you imagine the simple example? Simple example. He created me with hunger, and He created me to be aware that I need to eat and nourish myself and satisfy my hunger. And there's no satisfaction. I would say, what? Why do you put me in this troubled position? If you created me like a stone, I wouldn't, comparatively speaking, I wouldn't need to eat something and satisfy myself. Now you gave me and you don't satisfy it. It is a contradiction. So either the universe doesn't demonstrate the quality of the truth, absolute truth, which is impossible to deny. It does, the universe does.
How
Yeah.
does the universe?
Or my assumption that this truth is not really true is wrong. Look at the witnessing of the universe. It says, yes, he does. He has these absolute qualities. And I cannot say that, the one who created me is not perfect, is not the truth. Because there's a contradiction. So I said, there must be something. And the prophetic messages come to my aid and says, definitely there will. This is not a contradiction on the side of the Creator. It cannot be. He is the absolute truth. Then I said, really? Yeah. And I see all the people who claim to be the prophets and also supported by their miracles. Yeah, supported by their miracles to be appointed by the Creator of the universe. And these miracles are narrated throughout history, and the people, if you ask Jewish people, as far as we can have access to their sources now, and they are still carrying on believing in the same scripture. They say Moses had or demonstrated miracles. Right. Jesus' miracles are most famous. Yeah. Millions of people, billions of people, not millions, nothing. Billions of people follow Jesus because of his miracles. Yeah. And the followers of Islamic tradition, or the message we received through the Prophet Muhammad, we receive this from them, and they also narrate us his miracle, which means they are confirmed by the act of this truth. The Creator just pointing out that they are employed by him, because only the one who creates the universe can change the order. We cannot change the order. Even, for example, we are talking about global warming nowadays, but it is happening within the order of the universe. For example, if I put the heater here, the room becomes warm. When it becomes warm, it comes dry. Do you see what I mean? That is the order of the universe. So if we really pollute the air and kill the plants, therefore, this is, for example, if I put a plant in a closed area, closed place, and take out the oxygen and leave it with carbon dioxide, what happens?
Dies.
The plant dies. It means it is within the order that the atmosphere, which is the, how do you say, container of the earth, is polluted, and the oxygen is getting less because plants are dying. Plants are the ones who are employed to clean the air, right? Now, when the if you like purification mechanism of the air within the order of the universe is corrupt, what happens? The air is not purified, and the oxygen is not produced now. And then, as a result, what happens? The ozone layer is, has a hole, and then sun rises, sun rays gets in. These are all taking place within the order. But there is a truth there too. If you become eager, and if you don't really stop your ego or caprices or uncontrolled desires, I establish the order of the universe in such a way that you will punish yourself. That is what's happening now. If this global warming things, it doesn't mean that we are changing the order of the universe. That we have to understand. We are not changing the order of the universe. We are obeying the order of the universe. The order of the universe, we have to understand this point. It is causing lots of confusions in the minds of innocent people. Only the one who established the order of the universe can change this order. No one else. Miracles are what? Acceptable ways of creation. It means somehow change of the order temporarily on temporary base. Just to give the news to the people, innocent people around the prophets who claim to be the employee of the Creator, and they don't know. How can I know? So by changing the order, that only the one who creates the universe can change the order, and he did it on for this purpose, to confirm that my claim to be the prophet is correct. That's a correct, it's a confirmation from the Creator. And together with the message, miracles, they come up with the same main teaching. People manipulate it, mess up with it. Still, the main teaching is here in Judaism. It is subject. They say, believe in God, believe in angels, believe in prophethood, and God revealed Torah, and there is a hereafter. But people may believe, may not believe because of their free will. Yeah, but it is in the text. Some texts are very clear. Some texts are ambiguous a little bit because of the corruption of the people's. For example, if we lose the original form of the Quran, what happens? Hundreds of thousands of different translations of the Quran is everywhere in the market. And start variations according to the understanding of the people. Can you imagine after 3,000 years later what happens? And a new
Translation.
translation of the translation of the translation. At the end, yes, main ideas are there, but the details, the fine tuning of the teachings of the scripture may be blurred, may become blurred. And then God sends another prophet, employees to convey the message to the people as it is, polished, corrected, refreshed, made it clear. That's why Quran keeps saying that this is a clear message. It's a clear message. Kitabu mubin, kitabu mubin. Clear message. So the truth, the name of truth is very important. I mean, this subject is a great discussion, or if you like, argumentations included also from which perspective this should be understood among the Muslim scholars, which is called Haqa'iq al-Haqiq. So that is a specific subject discussed by the Muslim scholars. And that is very important if we really take notice of that. The name of truth is prevalent everywhere. Yeah, we know that the name of creatorship is also prevalent everywhere, but one addition to it, every names of God is manifesting in a way that they are pointing to the same absoluteness of the same being, all of these qualities. He is the truth, El-Haq. That's why one of the names of God is El-Haq. The truth, it means source of truth is the creator of the universe. If the truth was not manifested in the universe, what would happen? We will get lost. We would get lost. Because truth is not manifesting there. We don't know why we are here. We don't know the point of existence. We don't know the aim of existence at all. So what we do now, we see if we really are free from any bias, we can see the same truth manifesting everywhere in the creation. But this is very interesting.
Alhamdulillah. That was good comment, reflection. Thank you for sharing this.
Okay.
Oh God, for the sake of what they teach and in veneration of it, grant us and all students of the Risale-i Nur perfect belief and a happy death. and allow us to receive their intercession. Ameen.
So intercession, we have to understand that
Intercession.
if someone, for example, a professor teaches a class, you didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you do now, you go to the instructor. Yeah, please help me understand what the professor taught. It is that the instructor is interceding. So those people of truth, those people who are described here, purified scholars, the saints, actually, we can understand them as to be intercessors. What? They are transferring the truth of the teachings of the Quran and the truth of the teachings of the Prophet to us and interceding between me and them, which means helping me to get to the source and understand. In these practical terms, we understand that intercession is benefiting from their teachings, from their experiences of the message of the scripture. That is what we have to get their intercessions. Otherwise, if I don't really benefit from them, which kind of intercession I would expect from them? For example, intercession of the Prophet is the same. If we really don't follow the prophetic example, benefit from his teaching, if we don't benefit from his teaching, if we don't educate ourselves with his teaching, what intercession I should expect from him? His intercession is his teaching, and I am learning from him as it is my teacher. That is how the Prophet will intercede me. If I apply his teaching, I will be happy. I will be performing my purpose of existence. If I apply his teaching, if I don't know his teaching, how can I apply his teaching in my life? So his teaching has no effect on me. What kind of intercession I am expecting from him if I am not benefiting from him? Why should he intercede me? So we should really relate this intercession to our attitude to the source, especially teachings of the prophets or teachings of those people who are scholars. It means study, learn. For example, what we are doing, for example, usually what we do, we read the explanations of the scholars who studied the Quran much better than we do, and we are learning from him. It means we are getting their intercession. They are interceding between me and the truth. That's what we should see it in this way. Not something that you will not work at all, and somebody will go to a company and say that, come on, give some money to us. Why? He's my good friend. Okay, but what did you do? Nothing. Did you contribute anything to the company? No. Why should I pay? So if you try your best, but there will be some shortcomings, and the one who knows you, that you are really trying best, you can go to the company and say, look, he's trying. He's did some progress, but not as much as expected. Now, please accept him as expected because he's trying. That's why when you get a job, what you do, they give you a training period. Okay, we will test you for 3 months, okay? If you really try to get into the job and try to do your best to learn and perform it as much as possible for you, we will keep you here, correct? But if you, for example, you are accepted to a company, you do no work at all, You don't even go there. And at the end of the month, you go and say that, pay me my salary because I am a member of your company. What did you do? Nothing, but I am a member. And 2 months later, what will they do? Fire you away. Yeah, isn't that the reality? That's what human beings are equipped with, the feeling that if you don't see any performance from somebody, you just suck him. Fire. Yeah? That is the reality that God gave us to understand how my Creator is going to treat me. Yeah? So we have to try our best to receive the prophets or the saints or the scholars,
Message,
yeah, intercession,
teachings, intercession.
inshallah.
Inshallah. All right, alhamdulillah. I think for today we can then stop here. Inshallah, next Sunday we will proceed with page 208, the first paragraph.
Sunday, 3 o'clock.
Yes, next Sunday, 3 o'clock, definitely. So we'll meet at 3 o'clock. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati sirri surati al-Fatiha. Ameen. Alrighty, assalamu alaikum everybody. See you all next week, inshallah.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.